Hello and welcome to hip release with tennis balls. We're going to need 2 tennis balls. We're also going to need a strap and a chair or a coffee table or yoga bricks, something to put your hands on later. We're going to start with 2 balls and we're going to lie on the back, knees bent. And as you lie on the back, you're going to take the balls and they're going to go underneath your sacrum. So they don't want to be close together where they're on the spine. The spine going down the middle, the balls go on either side. So they're about 2 inches apart and they're just on that nice flat area of the pelvis. I'm not all the way out onto the juicy glutes. I'm on the flat area and the hip bones should end up facing the ceiling as I'm creating this kind of shelf with the balls. So once you've found that point and you feel like you are stable, we're just going to wait and we're just going to allow the body to settle into that point. Then we're going to add some movement so we can start to manipulate the tissues. So starting with the right side, lift up the right foot and just move the right leg in and out towards the chest. And as you do that, there's just some slight movement around the ball. And then hold it up. And now start to do a nice hip circle, keeping your knee bent. Imagine you have a Sharpie on your kneecap and you're going to try and draw a nice big circle on the ceiling. And let's do one more. And then place the foot. And we'll do the other side. Lift up the left and just bring that leg in and out towards the chest. And again, you're just keeping that ball in position. It's on the sacrum. The hips still feel level towards the ceiling. And you're just moving that knee to create movement around the ball. And then hold. And now start to circle, keeping the knee bent and taking the leg as wide as you can manage as you mobilize the hip and at the same time manipulate the tissues around the ball. Now make sure that your other foot is firm, so don't let the other leg flop. Last one. And release. Now, bring the soles of the feet together and let those legs drop open. And you'll feel that stretch in the front of the hip through the groin area. But also at the same time, you're changing the pressure in the ball, again, to create more stimulation into those soft tissues. And we just pause. And we just rest here. And you could stay as long as it feels comfortable. You could stay here for a good minute or 2. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to move on now. I'm just going to bring the knees back up to the center. And then the feet on the floor. Lift up your hips. Take the balls away and just rest your hips on the floor. For this next one, I'm just going to work with 1 tennis ball. Going to lift up the bottom, and now I'm going to place the tennis ball under the right glute, somewhere on that nice flesh of the glute, and I'm going to sit down on it. So I'm a little bit further out now, I'm not as close to the flat part. Both knees I'm going to point to a diagonal angle, and as I do that, The ball glides even further out, and I drop the opposite hip down. So the knees are on a diagonal. The ball has now moved to the outer portion of the glute. And I'm just going to try and relax that leg and let that leg flop. So both knees are on that diagonal, but the bottom knee kind of flops. That will increase the pressure around the ball. And the intention here, of course, is that we just breathe and we just rest. And we invite the melting of all the tissues around that ball, feeding and hydrating into the glutes to help you with your hips. And then bring the knees back up to the center, lift the bottom, and go to the other side. Outside, away from the sacrum, you're on that nice fleshy part of the glute. Drop down, so there's some weight. And then as you point both your knees to the next diagonal, that ball glides to the outside of the hip. And then you just rest down. Allow the knees on the diagonal. And you feel that pressure there in that outside edge of your glute. Feed in that lateral hip area to nourish and hydrate the tissues. So a couple more breaths here, just enjoying that pressure point and inviting those tissues to melt around that ball. And then bring the knees back to the center, lift the bottom, and remove the ball. Next, we're going to reach for the strap. So we're still staying on the back, and we're going to take the right leg and bring it in towards the chest, and just place the strap across the back of your right heel, and then straighten your right leg up to the ceiling. Now, as you straighten that right leg to the ceiling, make sure the back of the knee is open. Some people bring the leg in too far, but they've got the knee bent, and it's much better for you to have the length first and only bring the leg in if that leg is straight. Now, maintain that straight leg, and your opposite leg is going to go out along the floor now. And you're going to ground that opposite leg. This is stretching your hamstrings, and your hamstrings insert into the back of your pelvis, and they impact the health of your hips. Now, you're going to bring the strap just into your right hand. Put your left arm out to the side. Keep grounding the left leg. Squeeze the muscles into the bone in both legs, and then take your right leg away from you. And as you take the right leg away, reach the heel to the sides of the room, but most importantly, keep that left side grounded. So keep that left heel on the floor. Opening those wonderful hips. And then come all the way back up to the center. Left hand on the strap, right hand on the floor. Now pull the right leg across the body. And as you pull the leg across the body, you can relax the bottom leg. And you want that hip to come up and over, and you want that lovely twist in the spine. But you do need that leg to stay straight, so you kind of push into the heel. And then you sink into the right shoulder. And then release. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So we just take the left leg in now. Strap goes across the back of the heel. And once again, we find where the leg is nice and straight. And then we create grounding with the other leg. So we anchor the other leg to the floor. And we just take that length, that nice hamstring stretch, keeping that leg nice and straight. Keep grounding the right leg. Squeeze muscles into bones. Left hand on strap, right arm out. Deep breath in. Exhale, take the left leg away from the body. Keep the right side of the body grounded down, heel down, grounded the right side. Feel the space in the front of the hip. And then bring that leg up to the center. Opposite hand on the strap, left hand out. Now you go across. So as you pull across, you turn your waist, you turn your hip, and you just invite that whole body to twist, relaxing the bottom leg, and you're trying to sink into that shoulder, feeling that lovely release all the way through the outer hip, into the waist, and even a little bit into the shoulder. Keep the legs straight. And then inhale, bring it back up to the center. Bend your knee, remove the strap, and then roll to your side and bring yourself up. Next, we're going to finish with a hip flexor stretch, and we're going to take advantage of a blanket and a chair. So if you have a folded blanket, you can also use a towel, that would work. And you're going to face your chair. You start kneeling, and in that kneeling position, you're just going to take the right leg, stride it forward, and bring the chair on the inside of the leg so you can press that leg in towards that chair. And then hands are on the chair so you're not folding over, as you need the space now from your shoulder to your back hip. And if I can just show you something on that front leg, please make sure that it doesn't look like this. You want the space in the back of the knee. So have the heel bone directly underneath the knee, and then support yourself. Shoulders down, breastbone forward, crown of the head up, eyes forward, and squeeze that bent knee in towards the chair and be very firm in the front leg. Feeling a fantastic stretch in that hip flexor. And then change sides. So the left leg goes forward and stride, so go beyond what we call proposal position and go a little bit further forward, and then drop down and support yourself so you can stay upright and squeeze that bent knee towards the chair. Be very firm in the feet and very tall in the spine, and invite the back leg to drop. Feeling a fantastic stretch in the hip flexor. And this stretch really should be done every day, as it's a very powerful stretch to help you with the health of your hips. Firm in the front toes, and then push into the heel and release. And that concludes our short program for the health of your hips.